All right, what's going on, y'all? This is your professor, Dr. J.S.K. Austin, and welcome to week number 6. That is right, week number 6 of your 9410 class, which is your seminar in cultural heritage. As always, I am your professor, Dr. Jace, and we are going to make this a very, very quick one. Um, you all, for one thing, are continuing to do well with your discussion prompts and all that good stuff. So keep doing what you are doing. There are no outstanding questions in the class that I am aware of. And you do all have the St. Helena Island video to watch this week. So I definitely want you all to be be focused on watching your St. Helena Island, your St. Helena Island video. And so, really, all I want to do from there is just tell you all that if you're interested, one of the biggest pieces of landscape cultural heritage that I can think of from the Carolinas, where I'm from, or one of the most well known, is definitely the Gullah Geechee Heritage Corridor. Okay, so I just wanted to show you guys that this thing exists, what it encompasses, and so forth and so on. So the Gullah Geechee tradition is actually very strong, and it starts. So I went to college. I went to undergrad in Wilmington, North Carolina. And so just north of Wilmington, North Carolina is where the corridor starts, which is actually Pender County, North Carolina. Wilmington, where I went to college, is in New Hanover County, and Pender County is right above it. And it extends all the way down through into Florida. And one of the things that's going on, and one of the reasons why I think it's important to be aware of the Gullah Geechee Heritage Corridor, is because let's just keeping it real again. We've talked about gentrification and that sort of thing in the discussion prompts a little bit. It was not a discussion prompt. Let me not confuse you all, but it has been spoken about by Brianna and I think one or two others of you when you were discussing certain things in previous prompts. And so gentrification, we usually think of that as, in most cases, when you talk gentrification these days, you are talking about, you're talking about like people of color, most of the time black people in the inner city, who are being pushed out, priced out, with people who are wanting, with more well-to-do people wanting to get into areas that used to be poor or low-income areas and going into the city now and making the inner city a lot of times wealthier and whiter, just to keep it honest. But you're seeing that in the Gullah Geechee corridor as well, and it's something that I'm watching and something that I'm kind of saddened by. So some of the most beautiful landscapes that you're ever going to see in the United States. Don't get me wrong, there's beauty throughout the United States, but if I can just show you a picture, just so you can feel where I'm coming from. So my Instagram, I don't think there's anything too risque upon it. So I am going to go searching in it. And there are so many places down the Gullah Geechee corridor, barrier islands in the Carolinas and in Georgia, and coastal lands that are just so beautiful. And the people who inhabit these places. So this is me in on one of the barrier islands in South Carolina, that's part of the Gullah Geechee corridor. This is from a few years ago. And this is, this is how it looks. You see how beautiful the trees are. You see the marshy land. You see all of that. Here's another picture from earlier that same day. Just a beautiful, beautiful place. And then also this is like a beach island on the corridor and everything. I call it the island closest to hell in the caption. That's from Final Fantasy VIII. But it's not an island close to hell at all. It's one of the most beautiful places you're ever going to see. And it's a place that the Geechee people are losing. So the Geechee folks, they've inhabited these lands, they've lived on them, they've farmed them, they've made them sufficient, sustainable for human populations for a long, long time. But now developers are seeing that they can get these lands and are pricing some of the Gullah Geechee people out of them, because this was like coastal and beachfront property that really was affordable, and poor people were living on it. But of course, if you're familiar, of course, with Malibu or Myrtle Beach, which I'm familiar with, or Charleston, or some of the beach places in Florida, like I think there's like a Panama Beach, Florida. All these beautiful places on the beach, landscape, heritage, but a lot of wealthy people want to live on the beach and will pay top dollar for that type of land, and so people are being priced out. And these are people's ancestral homelands. And I know that some of you, I'm not of indigenous descent, but I know some of you are either Native American or at least partially Native American. I'm not, but I think that this is a commonality of struggle. I think what's happening to the colored people now is a less violent is a less violent sort of situation to what happened to the indigenous people that were originally on these lands. And so I want to be respectful of that. No, I don't want to. I'm sorry if that comparison is offensive. I do want to honor the fact that the Gullah people, as far as I know, yeah, they're being priced out and being forced from their homelands. But I do want to say that definitely they are not being met with the violence that the Native American people were met with. So I do want to be respectful of that. And so that brings me to the final thing that I want to say before I let you all go, is to just, I'm not going to talk about it too much now because I want to make this video fairly short. But, I would ask that you all are respectful of things like land acknowledgements. And again, goes with landscape heritage. We are all on the lands of Native people, as far as I know. And so, when I'm in the Carolinas, there are land acknowledgments to the Eastern Band of the Cherokee, and to the Lumbee people, and to the Hallawasaponi people, and the Occaneechi people, and so many other tribes. And I hope that one of the things you come away with, one of the things that I hope you take away from this class is just that idea of being respectful to those who preceded us, to those who have been forgotten as we occupy what was their homelands. Languages that have been lost, culture that has been lost, so many little things that we don't think about, food heritage that has been lost. I think I mentioned language already, but just artifacts, all these different things, wisdom, medicine, and healing, and all these things that we lose when we lose people. Their lands remain, but they're gone. So, yeah, just, try to approach it with that respect. Uh, and, this is not a class for, because we are going to be talking about race and heritage and culture and history in this class. It just goes with cultural heritage. But this is not meant to be a white guilt class. This is just meant to be, us understanding unique identities and us understanding the richness and the value of cultural heritage. And it's very much tied to librarianship and very important to it. I'm over 10 minutes and I'm tired. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the discussion boards. This is Dr. Jace from Kansas City, Missouri, signing off.